Greetings, this is the Timeshare Traveler. Today is episode 295. Timeshares for California wine lovers. I happen to be living in Napa, so I thought this would be an interesting topic that I'd share with my subscribers and the general internet. So first I'll talk about California areas I like for wine tasting. And then I'll break it down by if you happen to own Marriott timeshares, if you happen to own Hilton timeshares. I'll give you places you can stay in, alternatives in hotels with kitchens and so forth. So anyway, without further ado, let me jump into that now. At the end, I'll tell you a little bit about my channel. Here we go. Areas I like for wine tasting. Well, in Northern California, of course, there's the Napa Valley. That's the most famous and also the most expensive. And then right next to it is the Sonoma Valley, close to Napa, and better pricing. I happen to have a wine club membership in Sonoma Valley, so I can speak to that. And then Santa Rosa, which is wonderful for wines and best prices, relatively speaking, and it's the biggest area of the more traditional wine growing area. And there's Lake County, and also even in this Central Valley, San Joaquin Valley. There are other wineries as well. Tend to be not as famous as the ones I just mentioned, but they are there. And if you go down to Central in Southern California, I have two areas, one near Solvang, which are several wineries that I was had memberships for a while, and Paso Robles, which is probably the most, I'll call it the most famous or most recognizable area in sort of the South Central California. And then for fun, there's a place in Murphy's, California, up in the Sierra foothills. There's quite a few wineries up in that area, and they're kind of fun to have. I've been a member of a couple of them, and they're just fun places to go to, and very low key, less expensive. But it's kind of an interesting. You get a chance, you can go hiking and do some things in the Sierra foothills that I guess you can do balloon riding in Napa and other things. But I thought it was interesting. Or beaches in the Paso Robles area. Anyway, but that's the areas I like for wine tasting. What I'm going to do is break down those areas and how you stay at them if you're a Marriott owner, a Hilton owner, or a Worldmark owner. And let's jump in first to Marriott. Okay, let's talk about wine tasting for Marriott Vacation Club owners in Northern California. Good news is, and soon, I don't know how soon, but there's a timeshare actually opening up in Napa. So that's very much a possibility. Also about an hour to 2 hour drive, depending on which region of all those, like Northern California I mentioned. You can stay at the San Francisco Ritz-Carlton timeshare or the Marriott San Francisco Pulse, and that's about a 1 to 2 hour drive to the wine country. In Central California, really your best option is the Residence Inn. It's a hotel with a kitchen in San Luis Obispo. It's about 26 miles away from Paso Robles and fairly close to Solvang as well. And then there's Harbortown Marina Resort, and that's via Interval International, but that's 2.5 hours away and not a lot of availability, but it's possible where you can do that. The Sierra foothills, the best option is the Residence Inn, which is a hotel with kitchen 45 miles away in Modesto, California, or you can do the timeshare option of South Lake Tahoe or the San Francisco Marriott or Ritz-Carlton, but that's about a 2.5 hour drive. So I think the best one there is the Residence Inn, 45 miles away, about an hour, which makes it kind of fun, and you can extend it into the hiking, and that's which I've done with my daughter in the past. So that's what you do if you're a Marriott owner. Okay, now if you're a Hilton owner, it's in my opinion a little bit better, and I've done these some of these via RCI. So you Club Wyndham Vino Bello, which is actually in Napa. I'm actually in it right now. Behind me, you notice the wine glasses on there, and the wine bottle they give you with check-in. So it's very convenient for that. But the Worldmark Windsor, which is close, Windsor is 10 miles away from Santa Rosa, so that's very convenient for that. And then you have the Clear Lake. There's some interesting little wineries in Lake County as well. But if you're looking for the other option, which is Homewood Suites, if you're going to use the points that you've accumulated from owner updates and various things, that's in about 30 minutes from Napa. It's in Fairfield, and it has a kitchen. I've stayed there multiple times. So that's if you're going to do Northern California. Central California, at Avila Beach, which is north of Pismo Beach, is the San Luis Bay Inn. And it's 30 miles from Paso Robles, and about the same 30, I think it's the same 30 miles to the Solvang area wineries. There's a bunch of them there. Let's see. Then there's the Home 2 Suites, which is a hotel with kitchen, 8 miles away from Paso Robles. So that's a great option. That has a full kitchen. Plus you get free breakfast. So if you used the points, saved your points, that's a great option for you. Now going to Sierra Foothills, you have the South Lake Tahoe Hilton Timeshares. There's 2 of them, and they're 2.5 hours away. And you have the San Francisco via RCI. There's multiple timeshares there, and again, it's 2.5 hours. But the best one probably is the Worldmark Angels Camp, which usually has got availability, and it's 6 miles away, and that's via RCI. So you can get quite a few options. I'd say it's a little bit better than Marriott, but I'll go through the Worldmark here shortly, and you'll see that is if you own Worldmark, you're great for wine tasting, which is why I do own Worldmark. Okay, if you're a Worldmark owner, you have a great position to be a wine drinker. That even includes Oregon, but we're talking about California here. So you've got the Vino Bello in Napa, and you can book that via Club Pass, or you can book it via RCI. I've done it both ways. You've got the Worldmark Windsor, which you can book directly, and it's about 10 miles from Santa Rosa, so you've got that, and you've got the Worldmark Clear Lake, which you can hit all the Clear Lake wineries as well. Central California, you've got the Worldmark Pismo Beach, which is actually hard to book. I should warn you on that. So you've got the Worldmark Pismo Beach, 38 miles away, and the Worldmark Solvang is 94 miles away from Paso Robles, but there's wineries literally, I said 20 minutes, or it might be 10, very close, that are some really nice wineries in the Solvang area as well. So if you go to the Sierra Foothills, you can stay at the San Francisco Worldmark, or there's some Club Wyndhams as well, and they're about 2.5 miles hour drive away. Or you can stay at the Worldmark Angels Camp, which has huge availability, and you're 6 miles away, roughly, more or less. And so if you're a Worldmark owner, it's great for wine tasting. Anyway, we're coming up on the summer. We're doing wine tasting. It heads into the crush season in September, so I want to get this out early so you can think about it if you want to do it. There's still time. There's none other than Pismo Beach. Most of the places I mentioned probably still have availability. Maybe not exactly how you want it, but still options. Anyway, hope you like this video. Don't forget to give it a like, subscribe, and now I'll tell you a little bit about my channel. Hi, this is Cliff, and I'm the Timeshare Traveler. Welcome to my channel. The purpose of my channel is to educate those who love traveling in timeshares. I've been an owner for 15 plus years at timeshare ownership. I have elite ownership with Marriott, Hilton, and Worldmark. I have published over 100 timeshare video reviews, and I've published over 95 timeshare tips. I can be found on Facebook at Timeshare Trav, at Twitter, Timeshare Trav, and on the web at www.timesharetraveler.com.